took my cameras and I went to visit Fanshawe College today. We're at their greenhouse. With me is Jeff. So, hi Jeff. I would like if you can please introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself, about your background, and then what are you doing here?
Right, thank you. Hello, my name is Jeff Rowley, and I'm a technician with the horticulture program here at Fanshawe College in London, Ontario. My background, actually, I was born and raised in Toronto, which kind of fools a few people because a lot of people think I'm from the country, so to speak, based on what it is that I do. Came to London when I was 18 to attend Western University, and fell in love with London to the point where I just want to go back home to Toronto. When I graduated Western, I took a couple of years off to try to figure out what I wanted to do with myself. I realized that I love nature. I love working outdoors. I love working with plants. So that kind of pushed me towards coming to Fanshawe College as a student, where I took landscape design for 3 years. After that, I worked in the industry for about 8 years doing landscape design, construction. And there's a job opportunity here at Fanshawe that I applied for, and I've been here now for 17 years. It'll be 18 in November, and boy, does it go by fast. So it's been a wonderful opportunity for me. I love working with students. I love what I do, and I enjoy all aspects of it. I work with students in the plant production environment. I work with students in the landscape environment and landscape construction, and it's been a lot of fun because I learn just as much from students as they learn from me. And it's always a pleasure to work with students, and I just love seeing that light bulb go on when they do something there. So.
Oh, yeah, just it's amazing. Like now that you said it, 18 years are nothing when you bring it. It's like, pretty much you told my same story. Like for me was pretty much the same. I realized that at an early age that I didn't want to work in an office. So what is not an office? I said, you know what? It has to be or agriculture, or it has to be like marine biology. I also thought about it. Veterinary. Thank God, my lucky star told me, like, you know what, you have to go agriculture because, yeah, I think the same. Like, once you start working, and it's that thing about the agriculture part that is coming to work. Like, you do sit in a desk doing the design, of course, but then you have to implement it. I just went around, walking around the campus, and the amount of plants that are here is amazing. You guys do all of the landscaping here?
So yes, we use our campus as an academic laboratory. So this is where students will learn how to maintain a landscape campus, so to speak. We also use the lab for installation of parks, surfaces, retaining walls, paving stones. So they give all of these aspects into support filter, and it helps them decide what avenue they want to go down, because not every student is going to grow, reuse plates, and install retaining walls at fawns, build fences, and maintain all that. But yes, we do integrate the landscape data into our program, because students need to learn how to install plants, how to maintain them culturally, integrate management chair for that, and just overall fertilizing programs. Work with our facilities management. They help our program fund some of the projects that we do. So it's a win-win situation in the sense that our students are learning, and at the same time, we're beautifying the campus for all its maintenance, facilities maintenance management, rather than hiring a contractor at which higher price. So the students will learn, make some mistakes, of course, but then they learn from that, and then go out into the working world well-trained, ready for work.
It's so important to have any kind of coming to job experience. Like, I do appreciate all of it. You can learn in academia and theoretically, but at the end of the day, you have to spend time doing the job itself to realize what it is. And the hands approach that you guys have here is amazing for the kids. Like, how long is our horticultural program takes here to complete?
So it's a 2-year program. In its first year, it's probably about 80% theory, 20% pays off, because we need to lay a foundation down in terms of materials, plant identification, let's get design, botany, plant sciences and stuff. So they understand how a plant works and functions. Then in second year, we reverse that. So it's about 80% pays on, 20% theory. That's where our students, when we take campus, they'll have hard state projects, et cetera, et cetera. They'll get into the greenhouse and grow a variety of different ornamental retail crops and other types of crops. I think it's a good program overall. We had a good team in terms of faculty, and we have a great student body year after year. It just makes this so much more fun.
Oh, absolutely. I hear you there. Like, I can also see like an horticultural program is more holistic than just agronomy or just biology, because in landscaping there is a part of art, like, and of course also you're thinking in time, like you want some of the plants to flower in the middle of the season, others at the beginning, others at the end, and everything is in the design of the landscaper. It is.
It's not simple, and it's a progressive thing year after year. Again, I've been in the industry here for about 28 years old now. I'm still learning new things as well. It's always evolving. And you're doing like plants and cultivars of plants that are being introduced into the market every year. So design work is challenging. Just to have that year-round sort of beautification. Something is always happening, from early season falls to spring flowers to perennials, annuals, fall color, etc. There's a lot process that has to go into. That's for the reason why I took landscape design, because I like nature, I like work with plants, but I like completing a project and not say, wow, this is what I did, from start to finish, beautifying it or manipulating nature in a positive way. So yeah, it's great. I enjoy coming back to certain areas, start to see, and I go, wow, I planted that tree 25 years ago. Just see how big and beautiful it is. And that's the image that we're trying with some of our students. And we do have quite a few students that have come back from many years ago. On campus, just drop in and say hello, and they walk around. It's still the project stuff they installed, which is big, what's involved, and it kind of makes them feel like they really accomplished.
I just said it, like there is nothing like to put a tree and wait 15 or 20 years to say, oh, that's what it takes for a tree to, and then you take a whole new respect for them when you go around and you see a big tree. Like, okay, I guess there is always a part in yourself like I want to carve my initials in the tree, but after I realize like how much work takes for a nice tree to be in the city, it's like you respect that. And sometimes you take it for granted, like our city beauty, our beauty city that we live now here is called the forest city. It's for a reason. Like the amount of greenery that you see is everywhere. The amount of trees that you go is everywhere. And somehow the part that is super urban mixed together with that area. And then you can see that was somebody who sit there, took a look around and make it in a way that this new urban space was able to fit into the space. And that's the work of the professional. So have you seen like, how to put it, like more interest in young generations to come into the program? Do you think it's growing, it's shrinking? How do you see it?
Our program is very popular. We grow quite a bit each year in terms of number of students that are enrolling in a program. You can only get so many students into a greenhouse at one time, and because things are all going to grow at certain pace too. So we break our program up into sections. I remember several years ago that we would have approximately 40 students in your program first year, 40 or so in our second year. We also have apprenticeship students, which will approximately 30 your first and second year. So we have over 100 students, but this year I just found out yesterday that we have 66 students enrolled in first year here. So we're growing, we're getting bigger. I think there's a huge shift in terms of the mindset of students. I've seen it over the years that I did here working in the greenhouse, what they want to do. We grow, as I mentioned, ornamental retail crops such as poinsettias and hydrangeas. But we also grow for the London food bank as well. Whereas the mindset of our students is they don't want to grow ornamental retail. They want to start working with something that's going to be of service to other people. Wonderful thing, to see that younger generation having that mindset. They enjoy growing for the London Food Bank. Some of them want to get into medicinal cannabis as well to help people who are suffering in pain, rather than grow something that's going to sit on your dinner table at Christmas time and then out the window and go, after the great shift, very positive attitude that our students are demonstrating here. That just kind of makes what we do with you that much more rewarding. So I know our student body really interested and 100% on board in terms of helping out the community with what we're doing. We just wish that we also had a bigger facility that we could do more. Our greenhouse program is changing somewhat in the sense that over the years, we used to grow about 1,000 poinsettias, which would take up the whole greenhouse. Now we're growing 500 because we want to start doing more work with the London Food Bank in our greenhouse, providing more crops that will be it. So we're giving our students a taste of folks at the same time. And then again, helping out people in your community that are.
So, past last 2 years, we saw the prices of lettuces going over the roof. Like, okay, they were comparable, so super nice ornamental plants. Like when you go to the nursery, the ornamental plants, of course, they are like you can see $50 for a nice one, $80 for something like. If you don't know better, it's just a leaf for me. But some of them, especially the dark ones, I know the dark plants are always super expensive. But now you can see a case for growing food in the city. That wasn't the case ever in the history of agriculture, really. Like the city, when we became this center of population, when most of the population lives in the city, that change was super clear, and now it's only a little amount of people that produce food really for the rest of us. So how do you see these changes, like in the price of food, in the idea of growing, like not just for the students, for what do you see like in the regular people? Do you see like more interested, less interested? Because I do work in the food bank, so we produce a little bit of food there. And the only thing that I get as a feedback is like, we need more of this, but is that just because I'm biased into it? What is your opinion?
My opinion, honestly, is that, the last 2 years, grocery prices have actually skyrocketed about 18%, and that, my opinion, is challenging for some people because they have to make a decision in terms of pay the rent, have power, or eat, and some of them not eating. And our attitude is that we want to help out the London community. And this is one way that our horticulture students can do that. All of them can get involved. And we have the attitude that if you're coming to the London Food Bank, you're obviously not eating well or nutritiously as you can. So that's why we try to grow a lot of produce that provide some of that nutrition. I think there's a lot of people that are wonderful supporters to the London Food Bank shop, provide like canned goods and stuff, frozen pizza or whatever, but there's high sodium content and all that. And that's why we grow like a lot of produce, lettuce, microgreens, beans, wherever we can to help out, with people under nutrition there. I think this is something that it's not just with our students. I think there's like a growing community awareness, so to speak, that it is becoming a problem. And I think that, yes, as you said, 250 families, not people, but families that are using the food bank. That's about 25,000 people per year. That number, in my opinion, is going to increase and keep increasing. So we need to have more industry support in this area here, not just here in London, I'd say all over. So what we're doing is a drop in the bucket, but we're also inspiring future growers in our program to just have this mindset and to try to get that. I always encourage people in our community that if you have your own vegetable garden at home and you have extra produce, please donate it to a lot of food bank, because it will go to someone in need and go to good use, rather than throw it away.
Yeah,
That's just my mind.
I've been there. Like, I have too much bounty and I freeze it, and I think I still have zucchinis from the last season. Like, come on, my new zucchinis are here. I still have my processed one. That's the thing about gardens. Like, they do produce bounties. That's the thing. Like, they concentrate so much. Sometimes for one family, if you have a nice garden, it could be more than enough. Sometimes I when I go around the city and I see the farmers' gardens, like if you see a house in the middle of a corn field, like you can say 2 acres of corn, a house, and then the garden in front of the house is a small one, because the farmer knows, like, you don't need so much many tomatoes or so much many, like, what we produce is our grains. Like, we are used to get another thing, like we produce so much grain that the prices are low, so we can have a nice cake at the end of the day. Like, if we think 200 years ago, the same price of that cake will be like $1,000, because you have to harvest it by hand and you don't have the combine. And now we have these technologies that really help us. However, there is nothing like the perishable ones, like grains. The good thing about it is you can store it, and you can store a lot of grain. But it's kind of hard to store the tomatoes if you don't do a past or you don't dehydrate it. The same with lettuce. It's like 3 weeks when you harvest, and then the lettuce is gone. There is no way to. Maybe I was thinking now on kale, like you can do kale chips, but the thing is, like, and that you have to add it also, like, how people are more aware of tasting good food, like the foodie movement. Like, you go to the restaurant and you want a real nice salad. Here in Southwestern Ontario, we have pretty much the best land available in Canada. Is that like I'm going to say this is a personal question. Is this like a waste of space to use so much of the best land in Canada to produce the grain when we can also produce more orchard? What is your opinion on that?
Well, I'm not a farmer, so I don't know what's involved in terms of those practices. But yeah, you did mention easier in terms of storage, compared to produce. I think in one of the courses, which is ingredients plant production, one that I teach, we talk about the growing trends in greenhouse production. And you mentioned the word technology. Technology has evolved over so many years now that what used to take 16 weeks to grow a crop, we can now grow with 12 because of, innovation, mechanization, water technology, development in terms of lighting, and how that has evolved. So growing the crop in 12 weeks instead of 16, not rapidly, you can grow one more crop each and every year now in a greenhouse environment. And another trend is container gardening or vertical gardening, growing, and it's a very sterile environment, and there's like containers that are just literally in the parking lot, grocery stores, and the produce goes right into the grocery store. But they themselves can't even keep up with the demand as well. So I think huge focus needs to be on development of greenhouse facilities to help produce more produce to help feed people. So, because as you said, look what happened in terms of the United States, California lettuce. They shaped the virus that wiped out the whole crop there. So, and that's why prices went up through the roof there, because the demand wasn't there. We're a growing urban population, and we need to address food issue as we go. And there are companies out there that are dedicated to this type of mission statement, so to speak, and they will, I guess, get themselves involved in terms of any aspect, in terms of growing and how to grow the best crop possible in the shortest amount of time to address this problem. A lot of that is to move innovative practices and technology. So for me, I'm biased, I guess, because I work in a greenhouse. So that's where I think, we should be going and developing more greenhouses just for that reason alone. But I think, it's not just a greenhouse produce problem. I think it's like an all-around problem in terms of trying to feed this.
Yeah, it's not that an easy problem to tackle. Like just create a little bit of change. It's so difficult to change the status quo. Like right now, so many investment in this kind of agriculture. So the price of food is one thing. Then we have the price of energy itself. Like everything is propelled by or for hydro in this facility, or into gas for running the tractor and the combine. It's super clear that those expenses are just going to get out as get higher and higher as the population grows. Wow,
Perfect problem. I see that everything in terms of manufacturing, pricing, producing crops or whatever, everything is going. People's wages are not going up, and that's all right there. So I think it's something that definitely needs to be addressed.
yeah, okay. So I do want to change a little bit the switch and turn it into what I really geek to it is it's technology, growing technology. Right now, we're at your greenhouse. I would like to grab the camera and just move around and ask you about the different tools that you use here. If is that okay with you?
No, that's fine with me.
And I'm just going to grab the camera and switch it this way. Is this your little nursery?
All right. So this room here is where horticulture students first year, second year, and friendship students have their all practical labs around this table where there's lectures and on works. So we learn how to sow plates, from seed or propagate, how to use Larry, variety of different techniques, and all sorts of other activities. This is where we sow a lot of seeds that we broke for the month of today. Right behind me here has our propagation standard, and what we have here, this system's going on that right now. What we have right here is a controlled environment for rooting cuttings, whether it be hardwood or herbaceous cuttings there. We have body heat that will kind of drag the root system down to the bottom of the containers. So they got strong roots. We have stable moisture through a mist system that's all entire. We have different variety of materials, media, sphagnum moss or perlite, that allows for oxygenation, for rooting. And we have lighting as well, that the plants for stretching is they don't get enough light up, and they're just going to really stretch and look for that light. So this is just one unit that we use for some of our students. Generally, this is kind of a capsule carried here. Storage area here, which is underwater at all times. I will need a key or key. I feel at first hack it has a key. It's a chemical on the cabinet itself based on the species of some chemicals that happen there. We actually do not use pesticides on any of our crops. We are growing naturally. We use biologicals. We have any pest problems in the greenhouse, and you always are going to have some pests in the greenhouse because plants are an natural source of food for some of these insects. But we walked away from the pesticide movement. I can't remember how many years ago. So we're pesticide free with all our crops that we grow. That's amazing. We have our lid triggers here that we use to freeze off some of the packaging that we use to run the food banks. So the labeling explain, what the product is. We don't promote that it's from Fanshawe College in any way because we want to remain anonymous. It's not about us. It's about the people that need the food. We do include some topics such as like it's gluten-free, pesticide-free, like good source of vitamin C or vitamin A or something like that, which is great.
And I'm not thinking like, because you create these little tags in the printer, so you have like the whole program into a computer, like where you plant it, and you can just...
So we can bring in graphics to our labels, and we just temp whatever sort of text you want to put on that, and then we just cut out the labels real quick and just put on the packaging there. I think you've seen some of our packaging.
Yeah. It's very impressed. Yeah,
we're trying to evolve that into a nice, but it's not out again like making a sale or marketing, but it's just something different that our students are engaged in. My on the whiteboard there, we have that growing number insurance as well. We got the microgreens
almost 200.
Yesterday we were 1 pound short, so we're hoping to get 200. That was January this year that we started that, and we did have our previous shutdown for a little while. Construction work, so we're kind of ramping things back up. But that's a picture of us weighing some product on scale there down at the food bank. And as I mentioned, with our session here, you do play minimum these microgreens each plant because we want to get to 1,000 pounds for the students graduate from this program.
That's pretty awesome.
It's something we're going to continue on, ongoing in the future there. So we back many years ago. Well, actually, I would say many, but 3 years ago, COVID shut everything down in March of 2020. And I remember that because I was considered to be business critical here at college. So I remained on campus here because I did things. And I remember getting a phone call from our program coordinator, Mass Fire. And I remember that well, as I was standing in one of our buildings on main campus, I was like the only person in the building. So I had a conversation about John Fleming wanting to get involved with Fanshawe College and help, establish what the food bank is now. But I think at that point, there's a lot going on. And you answered the picture and you've done
okay,
they got the right man for the job. And I think spring of 2021 is when we actually met because you came here to pick up some produce for the food bank. And I think I shocked you a little bit in terms of how much we actually had that you had to go back and rent a cube in just to come back.
I don't expect that much. And what? First picture of the whole back and the vehicles there, they look amazing because of the product.
So that's when we started a relationship with the London Food Bank and got involved every spring in terms of growing tomatoes, peppers, zucchinis, cucumbers, lettuce, all that stuff, to which we're donating each and every year. And then I was working with a student who wanted to learn more about microgreens and start her own microgreen operation back in her hometown of Owen Sound. Her name is Brenna Kirkwood. And she kind of looked at me one day, we grow for the food bank and we're growing microgreens right now. How come we're not growing on an ongoing basis for the London Food Bank microgreens? But that's how this kind of February this year. So it's again that mindset that younger people are having, and that was staring me right in the face. Like I couldn't answer that question. Like, why were we not doing this year round? And that's where a shift in our program is coming to sort of, again, grow oriented retail, do something else that's helping the community, and the states are going to decide what avenue they want to go down. So, anyways, that's our story in terms of how we met and how we're evolving here. So
it's a beautiful story, and you know what? I will come in because this is our time, and I didn't. We didn't even wait to the greenhouse really, so now I have to do a second part.